Chioma remembered the moment Amanda was born. A stormy October night when the rain pelted against the hospital windows like an endless percussion. She was 22, alone, and terrified. The father, a man whose name she barely recalled from a brief relationship, had disappeared months before Amanda's birth, leaving Chioma to face motherhood entirely on her own. From the beginning, Chioma's love was complicated. Born into a strict Nigerian family in Lagos, she had learned that love meant discipline, that affection was expressed through correction, and that a child's success was the ultimate measure of a mother's worth. Her own mother had been a formidable woman, a school principal who believed that softness created weakness. Amanda was a sensitive child from the start. Where Chioma expected resilience, Amanda showed vulnerability. Where Chioma demanded perfection, Amanda struggled with self-doubt. Their relationship became a constant battlefield of expectations and wounded emotions. "You're not trying hard enough," became Chioma's most frequent refrain. During homework time, while other mothers might offer encouragement, Chioma's critique was surgical. A B+ would be met with a sharp interrogation. "Why not an A? Are you not intelligent? Do you want to be a failure?" Amanda learned to anticipate these moments. Her shoulders would tense, her body would become small, trying to become invisible. Each criticism felt like a physical blow, though Chioma never raised her hand. Her words were weapons precise enough to cut deeper than any physical punishment. At school, Amanda became the quiet girl, the one who never raised her hand, who tried to blend into the background. Her teachers saw a bright child holding herself back, afraid to shine. They noticed her exceptional drawings hidden in her notebook, her creative writing that showed remarkable depth, but Amanda would quickly hide these talents when attention came her way. Chioma worked 2 jobs to provide for Amanda: a day job as an administrative assistant and night shifts at a local call center. Her exhaustion often transformed into irritation, and Amanda became the target of her frustrations. "Do you know how hard I work for you? And this is how you repay me? With mediocrity?" The irony was that Chioma loved Amanda more deeply than she could express. Her criticism came from a place of fear. Fear that her daughter would struggle as she had. Fear that Amanda would not have opportunities. Fear that the world would be as unforgiving to her daughter as it had been to her. But love expressed through constant criticism is no love at all. As Amanda entered her teenage years, the distance between them grew like an uncrossable canyon. Where once Amanda had sought her mother's approval, now she sought only escape. Her room became her sanctuary, her sketchbooks her confidants, her music her comfort. Chioma didn't understand why Amanda was pulling away. In her mind, she was doing everything right. She was providing. She was pushing Amanda to be better. Wasn't that what a good mother did? Amanda's hatred didn't bloom overnight. It was a slow, painful process of repeated disappointments, of feeling perpetually insufficient. By the time she was 16, she had constructed an emotional wall so high and so thick that Chioma might as well have been a stranger. "I can't wait to leave," Amanda would mumble under her breath. Chioma would hear these words and feel a pain she couldn't articulate, a mixture of hurt, defensiveness, and a deep, unacknowledged fear of losing her only child. Their conversations became transactional. "Do you need money for lunch? Have you finished your homework? Did you do the laundry?" Emotional connection was replaced by functional interactions. Amanda excelled academically, not out of passion, but out of a desperate need to prove something, though she wasn't sure what. Her perfect grades were a shield, a way to deflect her mother's criticism, a way to say, "See, I am good enough." But no matter how well Amanda performed, it never seemed enough for Chioma. The breaking point came during Amanda's college application process. Amanda had secretly been creating an impressive portfolio of artwork, hoping to apply to a prestigious art school. When she finally gathered the courage to show her mother, Chioma's response was predictable. Art? You want to study art? Do you know how many starving artists exist in this world? You need a real profession, something stable, something that makes money. Those words crushed something inside Amanda. Her carefully nurtured dream, protected in the privacy of her sketchbooks, was dismissed in moments. That night, Amanda made a decision. She would get a scholarship, she would leave, and she would create distance between herself and her mother's expectations. And she did. Her scholarship to a university 3 states away felt like liberation. Packing her bags, she felt a complex mixture of excitement and profound sadness. She was escaping, but the escape came with a heavy emotional cost. Chioma's reaction was a mixture of pride and pain. Pride in her daughter's academic achievement. Pain in knowing that her daughter was eager to be far away from her. "I'm doing this for your own good," had been Chioma's lifelong mantra. But Amanda had stopped believing those words years ago. As Amanda settled into her college life, she began therapy, a step towards understanding her relationship with her mother, towards healing the wounds that ran deep and silent. Her therapist helped her understand that Chioma's criticism came from a place of love, however misguided. That generations of survival, of struggling as a single mother in a challenging world, had shaped Chioma's parenting approach. "She loved you the only way she knew how," her therapist would say. And slowly, Amanda began to see her mother not as a monster, but as a complex human being with her own struggles and limitations. Chioma, meanwhile, felt the absence of her daughter like a constant ache. Her apartment, once filled with the subtle sounds of Amanda's presence, her music, her movements, her breathing, now felt cavernous and empty. She didn't know how to bridge the gap. She didn't know how to say, "I love you," without also saying, "But you must do better." Years passed. Amanda graduated, built a career in graphic design, maintained a polite but distant relationship with her mother. Christmas and birthday calls were cordial, carefully choreographed to avoid depth, to prevent old wounds from reopening. Then came the moment of unexpected vulnerability. Chioma was diagnosed with a serious health condition. Suddenly, the power dynamic shifted. The strong, critical mother was now fragile, now needing care. Amanda flew home, saw her mother, truly saw her, perhaps for the first time, not as a criticism machine, but as a human being, aging, vulnerable, scared. Their first real conversation in years happened in a hospital waiting room. Amanda's hand, almost involuntarily, reached out and held her mother's. "I'm here," she said simply. And in that moment, something began to heal. The story of Chioma and Amanda was not a story of perfect reconciliation. It was a story of understanding, of recognizing that love is complicated, that parents are human, that children grow, that healing is possible, but it takes time. They would never have a traditional mother-daughter relationship, but they were learning, slowly, to have a human relationship, filled with complexity, with pain, with the potential for something deeper. And sometimes that's enough.